Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is Wyln News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. Wyln News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on Wyln News. I'm Julia Wiegand. Well, Pennsylvanians, it's official. Stay at home. And that's no April Fool's joke. Governor Tom Wolf issued all 67 counties in the Commonwealth with a stay-at-home order that kicks off at 8 p.m. tonight until the end of the month. This is said to be the most prudent option to stop the spread of COVID-19 across the state as case numbers continue to grow daily. All Pennsylvania schools will remain closed until further notice, and non-life-sustaining business closures will remain in effect. All essential state services and life-sustaining businesses will continue. At this time, law enforcement will focus on making sure residents are aware of the order while informing the public of social distancing practices rather than enforcement. More information on the statewide stay-at-home order can be found at pa.gov. The United States Postal Service confirmed that an employee at the Freeland Post Office has tested positive for COVID-19. USPS is following the Department of Health guidelines, and both the Centers for Disease Control and World Health Organization agree. There's no evidence that the virus can be spread through mail delivery. Local organizations are reinventing ways to help out the community during the COVID-19 crisis. That includes the American Cancer Society of Greater Hazleton. Our Julie Stefanovich has more on the story.
The battle wages on against cancer. Even while the world copes with COVID-19, the American Cancer Society of Greater Hazleton is still operating and is here to help cancer patients and their caregivers.
Well, we are still in business, Julie. ACS is a committed organization of staff and volunteers, and we want to get the cancer prevention, cancer education information out there in any way that we can.
Patients undergoing treatment need to be especially careful when it comes to the virus. They should speak with their healthcare teams and follow all the safety guidelines. While the ACS's Road to Recovery program is temporarily on hold, the organization is still helping out in the community.
Now, first of all, you can still call the number 570-459-1212 24/7 and speak with a person about cancer. You can also go to cancer.org for the latest information. But if you want to speak with someone, you could call that number 24/7 and be connected.
The ACS is offering numerous online services and support groups.
We also have things that you can still do with a program called Reach to Recovery, which is where breast cancer survivors will speak one-on-one with breast cancer patients. The Cancer Survivor Network is ongoing. It's an online community for all types of cancer survivors. We have a personal health manager, which is sort of a diary that you can print out to keep track of all your cancer information, your appointments, your meds, your side effects, any questions you want to ask your doctor. That can be downloaded at cancer.org, or you can have it mailed to you.
The Hope Lodges in Hershey and Philadelphia are currently closed for safety reasons, but the American Cancer Society has many hotel partners to provide free lodging. To contact the ACS of Greater Hazleton, call 570-459-1212. Reporting for Wyln News, I'm Julie Stefanovich.
Thanks, Julie. The Luzerne County Emergency Management Agency announced Tuesday that hospitals in our area have surge plans in place. Now, if hospitals start reaching their maximum capacities due to the COVID-19 outbreak, plans are set to accommodate patients at an alternate care site. The sites have been screened by the Pennsylvania Department of Health, but are not being made known to the public unless activation is necessary. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and PEMA are currently working on assessing more sites across the state if those needs arise. The Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation at the University of Washington released a projection for the coronavirus situation in Pennsylvania. The report shows the Commonwealth's peak caseload will happen April 17th, resulting in over 1,500 deaths. 62 new cases and 1 additional death were reported in Luzerne County Tuesday. In all, that's a confirmed 212 cases and 4 deaths in the county. Secretary of Health Dr. Rachel Levine acknowledged several models which have shown various outcomes and cautioned that people's behavior will dictate the severity of the outbreak. Residents are still strongly urged to stay home to prevent worst-case scenarios. Luzerne County authorities are looking for a Freeland man who's facing numerous drug charges. The Hazleton Police Narcotics Unit, in coordination with the Luzerne County Drug Task Force, charged 27-year-old Wenzel Nunez with multiple felony counts of delivery of a controlled substance and criminal use of a communication facility. A warrant was issued for his arrest, and he's known to frequent the Hazleton area. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is being asked to dial 911. A Hazleton man faces a slew of charges after being accused of sexually abusing two underage girls. Luzerne County Children and Youth informed the Hazleton Police Department about abuse allegations against 51-year-old Eric McAdams. Arrest papers state McAdams allegedly touched the genitals of a 9-year-old girl and forced a 6-year-old girl to perform oral sex on him. He was charged with involuntary deviant sexual intercourse with a child, indecent assault, corruption of minors, and child endangerment. He was released on $50,000 unsecured bail. Yesterday, the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office announced that evictions cannot take place during the coronavirus pandemic. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled to close all courts to eviction proceedings because of the outbreak. Attorney General Josh Shapiro stated that landlords and mortgage lenders should extend the period where evictions can't take place because of so many people being furloughed or who lost wages due to business closures. If you believe you've been wrongfully evicted or foreclosed on, Shapiro recommends filing a complaint. Coming up on WYLN News, some guidelines from PSP on how they'll handle non-emergencies during this pandemic. Plus, vote by mail is encouraged in Luzerne County. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Ezra. I'm 5 years old. It's partly cloudy out here and a little cold.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. Because I don't use my cell phone when I'm driving, even though my family does and leaves me all alone. Here's something else. I don't share it with Mom. Right, Mom? I have a brand new putter you don't even know about. It's awesome.
Safe driving bonus checks only from Allstate. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
Visit your local Allstate agent, the McNeilis Agency in Hazleton at 1092 North Church Street, or in Hometown in the Hometown Village Square.
CARES is a local and family-owned agency dedicated to providing exceptional services for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities throughout Pennsylvania. CARES specializes in day and residential services, respite, home and community, behavior supports, and chaperone vacations. At CARES, the participants are the VIPs. CARES, empowering individuals to maximize their opportunities and potential in their community.
In these uncertain times, you need to know what's really going on. The source matters now, more than ever. So turn to WYLN for up-to-the-minute information on social media, TV news updates at 1 p.m., 3 p.m., and 5 p.m., and WYLN News live at 5:30. Live local news and breaking news when it happens. WYLN TV 35, we're your local network.
A temporary change to the way troopers respond to select non-emergency incidents took effect today until further notice. With the goal of limiting in-person contact and mitigating the spread of COVID-19, Pennsylvania State Police identified certain types of calls that may be resolved with limited or no on-scene response. PSP will now take information over the phone for select incidents that don't require an in-person response from a trooper. Call types eligible for a modified response include lost and found items, littering, identity theft, and general request to speak to a trooper. While being mindful of social distancing, State Police barracks remain open 24/7 with essential personnel ready to assist as needed. Medicaid recipients can now get early prescription refills in the Commonwealth. The state Medicaid managed care organizations will also be flexible, issuing prior authorizations for longer durations when medically necessary during the COVID-19 pandemic. If the Medicaid recipient's prescription is current with refills remaining, the pharmacist would be able to issue them early. That includes early refills for opioids for pain management, but the prior authorization requirement based on day supply for short-acting opioids remains in effect. This directive extends to both recipients covered by Health Choices, managed care organizations, and fee-for-service Medicaid. Pharmacies are essential to life services and will continue to operate during COVID-19 mitigation efforts. Whitehaven Borough Council had its first virtual meeting Monday, where the infamous virus came up more than once. Zoom and similar programs are being used for meetings as people practice social distancing to stop the spread of COVID-19. Concerns revolved around those coming into the borough from virus hotspots like New York City and New Jersey. The borough extended its emergency declaration for 90 days minimum, while the Commonwealth remains in a state of emergency. This will actually allow council to get reimbursement money for costs associated with the pandemic. Voting by mail is encouraged for Luzerne County for the newly rescheduled June 2nd primary election to practice social distancing. Changes to Pennsylvania election law will take effect for the primary, which permits voters to request a no-excuse mail-in ballot for any reason. Since 2020 is a presidential election year, a large turnout is expected for both the primary and November's general election, which provides even more incentive to vote by mail. However, the Bureau of Elections continues to work on protecting poll workers and voters who choose to vote in person. All polling sites will have gloves and hand sanitizer on hand, and touchscreen voting machines will be wiped down and sterilized. Coming up on Mayflower's News Choice, we talk COPD checks on this Wellness Wednesday in Community and You. Plus, Giant Company thanks its customers for the more than $1 million raised for hunger relief. Stay with us.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
There are 125 used car dealers in town, but there's only one Chura's. Quality vehicles since 1954. Voted the best used car dealer. Check out their inventory, see something you like, take a test ride. Chura's Auto Sales. Call 570-454-7229.
Have your event with Whitetail, graduation, birthday, bachelor, reunion parties? They have the most tranquil backyard experience with beautiful mountains in the background. If your company or business wants a different alternative to a golf outing, they have outings that can accommodate you. You can have the entire facility to yourself. They will work with you to set up your day of events. Sporting clay competitions, trap and wobble trap games, skeet. After a day of shooting, you'll return to a meal designed for you. Call Mike at 570-535-6123 for available group options. Looking for information on the coronavirus pandemic? Make sure it's from a reliable source. Go to WYLNTV.com and click on the Lehigh Valley Health Network banner for the real facts about the coronavirus pandemic. And watch WYLN News live at 5:30 for updates on this ongoing crisis. The source matters now more than ever. WYLN, we're your local network.
Welcome to Community and You here on WYLN, and it is Wednesday, which means it's Wellness Wednesday, thanks to our friends over at Lehigh Valley Health Network. And today we are on location at the Health and Wellness Center on the Airport Beltway with Dr. Nick Hines, who is not only a pulmonologist, but he also deals with critical care. Now, Dr. Hines, we are here today to talk a little bit, or a lot of bit, about COPD. symptoms, causes, but we'll start with what is COPD?
COPD is the definition, or the acronym is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And what it is irreversible airway obstruction that causes from damage to the lungs. The most common causes in the United States is cigarette smoking, far and away. But in the world, it's actually the burning of biofossil fuels, especially in the house. So in areas where you use coal as heat or wood as heat inside the home, that could also expose you to toxins that could lead to COPD as well.
Now, it's definitely better to catch COPD earlier than later, as with most illnesses and diseases. What are some of those signs and symptoms that people can expect to experience or, should be on the lookout for?
The development of a chronic cough, so by definition, the chronicity of the cough is greater than 2 months out of the year for greater than 2 years. But any chronic cough that develops, shortness of breath, okay, this shortness of breath is typically insidious for some patients, so they might experience over the course of a year, they just can't move as far as they used to without getting short of breath. But other symptoms such as wheezing, frequent infections, they might manifest as COPD exacerbations and not get caught at that until the diagnosis is made.
Now, I just kind of had a thought now. If there's a patient with asthma, are those signs and symptoms going to be increasing, or are they almost going to feel like what they already have?
So it's an interesting question, because asthma and COPD, there is this kind of overlap between them. Okay, untreated, undiagnosed asthma can lead to COPD as well, but also having asthma and COPD, it's hard to say if you're having an asthma exacerbation or a COPD exacerbation. They pretty much get treated the same, pretty much with over-the-counter steroids, sometimes having to go to the hospital. We try to avoid that, though. But, those symptoms that you might experience between the two are, pretty close to similar. Okay.
Right. Now, once somebody feels that they may or may not be experiencing these signs and symptoms of COPD, what are the next steps that they should be taking to get treated?
I think the first thing is to, go to your primary care doctor and just kind of be upfront with your symptoms, and more importantly, be upfront with any smoking history you may have. A lot of patients tend to downplay their smoking history, and that it's doing a disservice to yourself, because it might downplay what the physician might interpret as COPD and the ability to get you the referral base for the help you might need.
And that help would be from you over here at the Wellness Center then, correct?
Correct. Yeah, so if you were to come see me, we would typically start off with a pulmonary function test, maybe a chest x-ray. Treatment options would include inhalers, but most importantly, if you're an active smoker, I would implore any active smoker with the diagnosis of COPD or without the diagnosis of COPD to quit smoking as soon as possible, because that's the best thing you could do for yourself as a patient, is to quit smoking. And also, as a disclaimer, with all the vaping going on right now, I would say any inhalational products, I would do away with as soon as possible. That's the best thing you can do for your health, especially your lung health.
And that's what I was going to get on to. It's not even just smoking, it's any inhalation activities that someone may be partaking in, any age range. Actually, good question. What is a typical age range of COPD?
Typically, the age range of COPD you would see in, 50s, 60s for an average smoker. So if somebody started smoking when they were 18, typically people start smoking in their teens. So if somebody starts smoking in their teens, by the time they're 50s or 60s, you should start seeing the signs of COPD. There are very special circumstances to that. If you had asthma as a child, you might have accelerated lung function decline. If you have some genetic predisposition, you might have accelerated lung function decline. So there isn't a definite to that, but I'd say most commonly in the 50s and 60s you start seeing COPD.
And like I said earlier, it's probably better to catch this early on, because what are the downfalls of either not being diagnosed at all or just not even getting checked out to figure out if you are someone with COPD?
I think the biggest downfall from not being diagnosed with COPD or not seeking treatment for COPD primarily comes from a quality of life, okay? People who are not on inhalers, who continue to smoke, statistically has been shown to have more exacerbations. That's more time, out of work, that's more time in the hospital. Inhalers decrease the rate of exacerbations. They help improve lung function, so that gives you more exercise tolerance. So I think, getting treatment and getting help is going to help improve quality of life, and that's kind of the most important thing that we could do for patients.
Most definitely. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Hine.
Thank you very much.
And thank you today, everyone, for watching on this Community News Wellness Wednesday. Remember, if you feel that you may be experiencing symptoms of COPD, do not be afraid to talk to your primary care and get a referral over to Dr. Hines here for Lehigh Valley Health Network's Health and Wellness Center. We'll see you next time here on WYLN.
Abby is still perfecting her sidekick, and her jab is just for show. But for Abby, this is a remarkable day, because Abby recently defeated a real foe, cancer, when she partnered with Lehigh Valley Riley Children's Hospital, a children's hospital close to home with more than 30 pediatric specialties. Take a bow, Abby. You deserve it. Lehigh Valley Riley Children's Hospital. Your health deserves a partner.
You've seen university advertising. A student like me pitching you the same old ideas. But I'm not gonna do that.
Instead, I'm gonna tell you what you can do with a Penn State degree. You can help anyone. Go anywhere. Create! And with 20 campuses to choose from, you'll always feel at home.
Look, Penn State is amazing, but your best years are just beginning. Come find out for yourself.
Tune in every Sunday night on WYLN from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for hard-hitting, high-flying, non-stop action as only Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling High Voltage can bring you. That's Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling every Sunday night on WYLN. I'll see you in the ring.
WYLN presents Community Update on Coronavirus. Monday through Friday live at 3 p.m. with rebroadcasts at 7 p.m. and 10 a.m. the following morning. Brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Health Network, PBS 39, Adams Outdoor, and WYLN. We're your local network.
Customers of the Giant Company helped to raise over $1 million for hunger relief efforts in March. Over $823,000 was raised during the biannual Bag Hunger campaign, along with more than $185,000 through Register Roundup. The Senior Vice President of Retail Operations said these funds could not come at a more critical time. The money raised during the campaign goes to more than 100 hunger relief partners, including food pantries across Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, and West Virginia. Giant's Bag Hunger fundraising campaigns have raised more than $12 million since 2018. Our station continues to feature local businesses and residents adapting to these virus challenges in our Penny's Classifieds. If you or someone you know is reinventing the way they connect with and serve our community, we'll be happy to share the story on Penny's Classified right here on WYLN TV. Send a message to our WYLN News Facebook page or call 570-459-1869 extension 1110. We here at WYLN would like everyone to stay safe while we continue highlighting all the good work being done all throughout our community. That's the news, and remember, the source matters now more than ever. You can get news updates on our WYLN News Facebook page or go to WYLNTV.com and click on the LVHN banner for the real facts about COVID-19. Stay with us. Look at today's weather is next here on WYLN TV.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a